Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and that is what you call a broken down tractor. So Dad was driving this the other day. He's coming over to pick up a hay bale over here by the grain shed, and he went into the bale. He went to go into reverse, pulled it into reverse, and it wouldn't go backwards, wouldn't go forward, wouldn't do anything. He then shut the tractor off, and then it wouldn't restart. So what we're thinking is it has some sort of an issue with either this gear selector or sort of knowing what gear it's in. I think maybe that's what's locking it out and stopping it from starting. We did jump across the starter motor the other day and we could get it running, but we still couldn't get it into gear. It just keeps doing that. Beeps at you. We got the stop light, warning light flashing on the dash all the time, so there's something going on. And the problem remains to be found at this stage. Yeah, she wanted to try and come and fix it with me this morning.
Ah, alright, fix it.
How are you going to fix it when I don't even know what to do to it?
She's got this bag of tricks here.
Oh, you got some tools in there for me?
What do you think might fix it?
So in all honesty, I've had something similar happen to this before when I've had the batteries disconnected, and I just thought it might have been a connection issue down here. And actually when I spoke to the guy from Deere, he was saying the same thing about there's a bunch of earths that come back to this negative battery terminal here, and look, I've played around with this a heap already and I haven't been able to find anything at all wrong. So I don't know what's going on. I'm sort of almost waiting for more information from the dealer so we can get a bit better, try and get a bit better diagnosis going on this thing. We've sort of proved that it's got a good enough battery connection because the thing will start. So we did actually get a real belt of frost last night. The lawn was absolutely snow white this morning. The windows on any of the cars that were outside were frozen solid. So that's the last thing we really needed right now. We're just at the finishing line, like the wheat's just at the finishing line of almost going ripe, and yeah, we've had a big freeze. So definitely not ideal. Hopefully yeah, hopefully it hasn't done any damage, but apparently it got down to -5 out towards Blaley last night, and we've got land out at Blaley North, so, and the crops are later out there, so they look terrible anyway as it is. They've just struggled all year. There's maybe going to be 1 tonne to the hectare out there, that's what we're thinking, and hopefully now we're not going to be harvesting a whole heap of corn flakes out there. Well, I have yielded no result there so far, and I don't know if you'd call it saved by the bell, but I've kind of been saved by the bell. The mechanic who's working on the 9770 in there, they want me to go and have a look at something on that final drive. So apparently there's a bit of pitting on one of the shafts, and they're wondering whether we want to replace it or what we want to do. So we've got to go in and have a quick look at that now, because honestly, that machine is a priority. That is an annoyance not having it running, but it's not really the end of the world. Just pains me to see her like that. But anyway, the main shaft that goes through the final drive had a bit of pitting on it, but it's just where the bearing sits. It doesn't spin on there or anything, so I just said, send it, full noise mate, put it back together. Not paying $5,000 for a new shaft. Oh, the smoke from that fire is still so strong in there. We might wind the windows down on this thing and let it air out for a while. Just needs a good check over, like a bit of a service as well, especially on that engine on the back. Just make sure we're all good to go for harvest here. And yeah, it also needs a clean. Alright guys, I've kind of pulled up stumps over there on the loader for now. I'm sort of waiting on a bit of information to come through from the dealer, which I don't know when that's going to come through because they're that busy at the moment doing things like fixing our header in the workshop there. So I'd kind of rather let them focus on that, and you know, when they get some time they can get me the information that we need, because I'm thinking there's got to be some sort of an electrical problem in that forward reverse selector. I've had a problem sort of similar to this before, and I feel like I just played around with the battery leads and that. So I've checked fuses and relays. I've pulled off most of the battery leads, the positives and the negatives, cleaned them all up. Hasn't made any difference whatsoever, so we're just going to leave that for now. For now, this auger here, this needs a new run of bearings along the top here. Bearing went out on it last year up the top there, and so we've sort of been living on borrowed time here with this thing, and I've known that for a while. And if you look up at that bearing there, the dust cap's actually gone off the back of it. So we really need to get new bearings in here, get this thing service checked over, ready for harvest. And then, like I said, we've got the firefighter next door. Give that a good clean up, bit of a service check over, make sure we are cherry ripe there as well. How's the go? You guys still walking around from when I saw you earlier this morning? How was your play date? It was good? What are you guys doing now? Going for a cruise?
Yes. Welcome to the valley.
So I did do a bit of groundwork yesterday and I got one bearing off there. I took it into town to match it up and get some new ones ordered, which amazingly, we had the bearings all here, but just not the housings. So we'll just focus on getting that shaft off for now, maybe getting those bearings cut off, and hopefully my new housings will be here tomorrow, because you know that those housings ain't going to come off. They're going to come off with the gas axe. So what I've been doing with these bearings is just grinding off the outer housing and then grinding a little slit through here as close as I can get to the shaft, and then I use a chisel and a hammer and I just give it a whack and it splits the housing open basically. I've undone this one, I banged the crap out of it with a hammer and I couldn't get it to move. You're just wasting your time. So everything's a bit rusted on here, it's a bit old, so we're just doing the old cheat code. So I've already ground a strip through here, so we'll see if I've gone low enough. We'll give this a hit and see if it splits open. Bang, straight away. There we go, look at that. So I got all those bearings off now, but I reckon this is probably what's going to be the hardest part of this job. This shaft has to be cleaned up, smooth enough that I can slide the new bearings back over here. So there can't be any rust, there can't be any imperfections on here. It literally has to be nice and smooth and almost shiny all the way along. So I've got a bit of work ahead of me here to get this nice and shined up. Well, I lucked out, and Neil had a bit of spare time before he knocked off, so we sanded and sanded and sanded some more until we eventually got this bearing on here. So that's as far as we can come from the top end with the bearings, because we've got a weld there in the shaft. So that's the top section kind of done. We're going to double bearing here, and we already had this double bearinged after we had that failure last year. So we just do that because this top section's where you get your bit of adjustment for the chain, probably a bit more load on it. So if we're going to double bearing here, we're going to have to shorten our PVC a little bit, which I've measured up. So we'll cut that, and then we can slide our PVC and bearings on this top part of the shaft, and we're done. Then we got to go down there and focus on that section. Well, good morning everyone, we're back now. So yesterday I managed to get, or last night, some bearings on here, and I've got it to the second notch of, or the second spot where the bearings go. I've got to keep cleaning this shaft up till I can get one more here and then one more there. So we're going to get that done now. Sounds like the guys are going to be here this evening to windrow the canola. So there may be a bit of a change of plans. I'm probably going to have to get organised for that. So anyway, I want to get this shaft, the bearings on there, and get this sucker on. So that shaft's ready to go back on. I just thought I'd bring you guys in on the loop. I said yesterday that we had a bad frost. Well, it's absolutely done this canola over. So if you came out here even a couple of days ago, these plants were still green. Very green looking, very green to touch. You'd get hold of these pods, they were still flexible, nice looking. And now if you look inside that pod, I just touch it, they burst open, and you got all this olivey coloured seed in there. Now I don't know whether that's going to turn black now or not. I think it's been frozen, and I think it's ended its life prematurely basically. So it's not ideal. This stuff needs to be windrowed now. Like you can't leave it, because you just touch these pods and they start to fall apart. So that frost has definitely brought this to a premature end, unfortunately. And there's plenty of black seed in there still, so look, I don't know what all this is going to mean when we come to deliver it, but yeah, it's certainly brought it forward more quicker than it should have. It's not going to be ideal now. I'm just brainstorming at the moment because I need a 2-inch male fitting to go from that pump to the windrower when it gets here, so they can spray under the windrower, which we don't have. I might have to take a trip to town and see if we can sort something out. I'll just get it up on the ladder first. Should we go and try and make up a hose?
Yes!
Woohoo!
Dad, why are you doing that?
This is what I needed the thread tape for, to go over this fitting here.
Why does it need to go over that fitting?
Well, it helps it seal up so it doesn't leak.
Don't put too many on it, Dad.
This is all we needed to do. We now need to make up a new hose. We just got to get a new fitting on the pump.
Dad, can I see?
Yeah, you already asked that. I said yeah. How's those flies treating you?
Really good.
Really good? I'm glad they're treating someone well.
Dad, that's enough.
I'll decide when it's enough. Right, that should be what we need. We got a 2-inch hose with a male fitting. That's what we need, I'm pretty sure, to go onto that windrower. So should be able to suck straight out of that tank, straight up through this hose. The paddock's right there. That'll be a good thing.
Dad, can I honk it?
No.
Why?
You can do one honk.
Okay, Daddy.
Well, we'll get some water pumping over here because it's getting a bit low there, so we better do that, huh? I've been kicked off the big auger rebuild out there, so I've got a little bit of time at the moment. I'm going to get this little engine serviced and checked over, and a bit of a check over happening on the firefighter. I will have to go out there and we'll have to lift the flighting into the 50-foot auger, which has been sitting on the ground for like 3 months. But don't even get me started on that. Hopefully that's going to go back in this afternoon, and that'll be nice. If you don't have one of these little oil extractors for doing these small engines, then get yourself something like this. Absolutely awesome. Because the alternative is that you pull that little drain plug out there and the oil goes all over the tray. A little bit heavier than I was thinking.
Wasn't too bad coming out, because it was downhill. Might be about it, is it?
Well guys, I think I'm going to leave this video here now. I'm just heading over to shut off some taps because I'm pumping water, and then I'm just going to keep chipping away at that firefighter ute there. But it is starting to get pretty late on a Friday arvo. It's been a busy couple of days around the farm. Those 2 augers there are just about ready, barring a little bit of servicing to do on them. The guys should be here at some stage this evening to windrow the canola. So harvest in about T-minus 10 days, I'm thinking. It's coming on hot. But anyway guys, I just want to say thank you as always to everyone for watching the videos. We really do appreciate it. You guys have yourselves a good one. And until next time, see ya.